Hello YouTube. This is a Behringer EUROPOWER EPX2800. Finally, I got a professional amp. And some people say that it's not that great of an amp, but from what I've seen so far, it's a very nice amp and is very true to its ratings. So, it also has a very impressive inside, so I'm going to pop the cover off and give you a look. Now this one uses a switching power supply instead of the more traditional linear power supply or toroidal transformer. For example, never mind, it's not around here. But anyway, as you can see, it has a pretty nice looking inside. You got a very, very large switching power supply transformer. It's probably one of the largest ones I've seen. You got a power switch. Then you got your AC filtering section, which is also very, very impressive. I'm not sure where the bridge. Oh, there's the bridge rectifier. The bridge rectifier is right down there. Then you got your DC filtering side, which has a lot of capacitors on it. Then that runs over here to the power amp side, which is pretty much a Class H design. Using a switching power supply. So pretty neat design here, very modern. And this amp is really, really powerful. It does stay true at 2,800 watts into a 4-ohm load abridged. So that is a lot of power there. And that's the need for this huge power supply. Now, the thing with this is that you actually are going to have to actually get enough power for this amp. If you're running it at the full 2,800 watts, you're actually going to have to plug this into a not 240 volt because it doesn't handle that, but you're actually going to have to plug this into at least a 25 amp circuit on AC. So if you're plugging into a 15 amp circuit, you're liable to trip the breaker. Now the one complaint I have with this amp is I actually had speakers plugged into it, so let me remove those. And that's the Optimus, and I could not get enough loudness out of my dainty little MP3 player to actually put enough wires to drive this amp pretty hard, so I actually used another amp as a driver. Now, I'm just going to plug it in, and I'll show you the fans that are kind of loud. So as you can see, the fans are kind of loud. And they are actually on an adjustable power supply, so they actually do adjust with the music, and they do get louderness if you have a lot of power running out of the amp, which is pretty crazy. They are Jamie Kahn 24 volt fans, so they're not the regular 12 volt fans. You can't just simply replace them like you usually would. If the camera would focus, I could show you the specifications. There we go. So as you can see, they are actually not your normal 12 volt computer fan. So you couldn't just replace them. You actually need to get special fans. Now now fan noise doesn't bother me. So I'm not bothered by that noise. But for some people that are using this in a very quiet home theater environment, or even theater environment that doesn't have a separate theater room, it might be annoying. Now this amp is put into a cabinet, and the front door is shut, and so and the back is open. So the most of the noise is going to be blocked. But still, if you're not playing it high, you can still hear this amp noise, even if you do put it in a cabinet that's completely isolated, which is a very stupid thing to do. These amps do get very hot and need ventilation. So, for your inputs, you got a nice selection. You got your standard XLRs, then you got your regular TRS, and then you have just regular audio inputs. For speaker outputs, you have your regular binding posts, and then you have your speak-on connectors. Now, I would recommend using speak-on connectors for pro audio just because they don't come out of the whether they're plugged in. But if you don't have something with speak-on connectors, just use binding posts. They're fine too. But yeah, overall I think this is a very nicely built amp. And that Behringer is not crap. Behringer is actually a pretty nice company. So yeah, very nice little amp. So hopefully it'll power the Behringer software I'm gonna have coming. It's the Behringer Euro Live VP1800S. So this subwoofer is gonna handle a maximum of 600 watts, 1,600 watts, and a continuous of 400 watts. I think a program of around 1,000 watts. I forget exactly. So yeah, this could be pretty fun. And pretty loud. So yeah, I just wanted to show you the inside of this because I thought it was pretty impressive. And that's about it. Have a nice day. This has been Joshua's Recordings. Over and out.
This is the end, I know. Yeah.